It was 1979 when James Raine first appeared on our screens in one of the most memorable episodes of Countdown ever.
Yes, James was cringing as watching that 40 years since that performance, and there's been a stack of hits from Reckless to Boys Light Up and, of course, this 80s classic, Motor's Too Fast.
Well, now James is taking his show on the road, heading around Australia on a new national tour.
And it's great to have James Raine in the studio with us, cringing about those countdown days with two broken arms.
Why do you cringe?
Such a great story, though.
Well, because it's a long time ago, and you just look at it and think, I like the shirt. That shirt, I wish I still had that shirt.
But take us through the story, because you got hit by a car, right?
Yeah, I got hit by a car on Swanston Street in Melbourne. And it wasn't the guy. It was my fault. I just didn't look when I was crossing the road, and broke both my the tibia, whatever, bone in each wrist. And so I had plaster from there to there for 3 months.
Yeah, and you still managed to make the performance cool with two plaster casts on your arm.
Cool. we got to the performance, you know.
You and Australian Call have been responsible for some of the biggest hits in the country. Do you have a favourite? Can you have a favourite? I know you've said there's some you don't love anymore and you're kind of embarrassed about.
A couple I'm kind of embarrassed about. I think you go in and out of. I don't know if they're going out of. I don't really think of them in those terms.
Yeah.
They're songs that I sing, and the ones I really don't like, I don't sing, or the ones I just think are sort of dorky because they're sort of just dated or funny or just badly constructed. But the ones that I sing, I have some. I like some part of them, or I like them as songs to do.
One of the ones you hate playing is one of my favourites.
Well, the one we talked about off air, we do play it. But
Hoochie Coochie Fiorucci Mullet, yeah.
I don't hate it. It's just clunky. And I wrote it when I was 17 or 18 or something. So to me, with the benefit of hindsight, it sounds very much like a young man trying much, much too hard.
Yeah. So when you've got fans like me who have certain songs they want to hear, how do you then pick what you play? Because you're obviously touring a lot and performing a lot. So how do you get a set list now?
Well, I know the ones that people want to hear. So when we do these shows, whether it be acoustic or band shows, it's a good 90 minutes of stuff you would expect to hear from me. There's Australian Crawl stuff, there's my solo stuff, there are things like Way Out West that I did with James Blundell.
Yes.
There's a project I did called Company of Strangers, so we do stuff from that. So it's a good 90 minutes of stuff that everybody would know. And so as long as I start with that, and I might throw the odd new one in, but once you've chucked them all in, you're pretty much covered. And there are the odd one like Hoochie Coochie. We do it, and I sort of go when I do it, but we do it because I know people like to hear it, and I have heard this story.
How do shows compare now to, say, when you were playing pubs in the 80s?
We still play pubs. We still play pubs around Australia. There's still some really good pubs left. It's just, we're just better at it, We've been practising our craft for nearly 40 years, so we're just much better musicians. We know we're much more comfortable on stage. It's a craft, and if you work at your craft, you're just going to be better at it. My analogy is always, if I'm going to build a house, I would rather have someone that's been building them for 30 years than has been building them for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of these performances take place on the weekend. So during the week, are you still constantly thinking about music and writing?
Yeah, I'm always writing. I've always got songs. I'm going to record this year. I've got lots of songs. So I'll record sometime later on this year. And, I've got my finger in a few other pies. I've written a song for a film that's coming out later this year. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. It's called Palm Beach. It's coming out later. Yeah. So I do odd things like that. So there's always something going on. And I'm always writing. And other than that, I have family. I'm leading a life.
Yeah.
And we're still singing all of these great songs many, many years later.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, James. Well, if you'd like to see James Raine live in concert, all the ticket details are on the Daily Edition website. That's thedailyedition.com.au.